Hello, 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 and welcome to How Many Reads Do I Need Anyways? My name is Erin Brophy, and I am the principal oboe player of the Saskatoon Symphony and a sessional lecturer at the University of Saskatchewan. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a question I get all the time. How many reeds do I need anyways? And I'm going to answer that question. Why am I doing these live presentations? Has a lot to do with how I got started on the oboe. I'm from a remote place in Northern Ontario in Canada, a place that's full of rocks and trees and is really beautiful, but does not have any other oboe players. So when I got started on the instrument, I really struggled. I didn't have access to good information. I didn't have access to a functioning instrument. I didn't have access to functioning reeds. And there are many times when, as I tried to improve on the instrument, I almost gave up because I just didn't know how to improve. And that's why I'm doing these live presentations, is because, we have this amazing resource, the internet. And so it is my personal mission and philosophy to get some really good information out there so that you don't have to struggle like I did. It can be a lot easier than the path that I took. To that end, I've also designed a unique online program called the Oboe Path. This is a 6-month program that I absolutely love that uses an online masterclass, a personalized, customized plan, and laser one-on-one feedback to enable an oboist to play with joy and ease. Through the group online masterclass, the participants in the program stay motivated to practice. Through the personalized, customized plan, the participants in the program are able to practice with efficiency, and that means that oboe and improving on the oboe can fit into their busy lives. With their laser one-on-one feedback, they do not waste their practice time. It's very efficient, and they see the results immediately. So, how many reads do you need anyways? Well, it turns out that the answer is kind of different. It depends on where you are in terms of your development on the instrument. And that's directly related to the number of hours that you are playing your oboe. So at different points on your journey as an oboe player, you'll play for greater and greater hours as you progress on the instrument. And with that progression of playing more and more hours means that you need more and more reeds, because reeds don't stay the same over time. The reeds don't last for an indefinite amount of time. There's a period of time where reeds work really, really well, and then they start to diminish in their function to the point where they stop functioning entirely. So being able to navigate that journey with each specific instrument is part of becoming an oboe player, and it's part of knowing how many reeds you're going to need for the number of hours that you're playing. So I thought I'd just give like a guideline, a loose guideline today based upon, how much time you're spending on the instrument. Before we get to that, though, I wanted to talk about just a little bit, especially for the parents out there who are wondering, like, how many reeds do I need to get for my child who is an oboist? They keep saying they need more reeds. Is this really reasonable? And reeds break down because it's organic material, and we're asking this piece of organic material to vibrate as we blow against it. And just like all organic material, as it ages, its flexibility over time lessens. And it's really that flexibility that we need so that we can create vibrations to make the sound on the oboe. So that's what oboists, when a reed stops functioning, it's the reed itself has lost the flexibility to vibrate. So if your student or your child is saying, well, my reed doesn't work very well, that is a very reasonable and understandable part of the life of a reed. Because it's organic, it breaks down over time. So just that little piece of information to help you understand why oboists need access to reeds at a different rate depending on how much they're practicing. So first, let's start at the beginning part of your journey. If you're a beginner oboe player who is maybe playing a couple of times a week in your band class and you're learning the oboe for the first time, then I've had many oboists be able to play on 1 or 2 reeds for many months. We're talking about 3 months. So maybe September through December, they have 2 or 3 reeds. And then December to June, they have 2 or 3 reeds. And that works very well. I would suggest for beginners that they always have more than one, well, for everyone to have more than 1 reed, because because the reed is so fragile and it can very readily, get broken because of the end of the oboe reed is as thin as a human hair. So it's very, very fragile. And it easily can get bumped on a music stand or another classmate. And that's something that beginner oboe players experience, is that they actually wreck quite a number of reeds at first until they get used to the fragility of the instrument. The fragility of the reed. So once you get over that hurdle, usually having 2 reeds in your case would last you the semester. And that's if you're, playing a total maybe of an hour and a half in a week. That will work quite handily for you. You don't need more reeds than that. Then we move into sort of the next stage of development, which I would call like the intermediate stage, when you're maybe in high school. We call it secondary school here. That's like 9th grade through grade 12. And in that might be that you are playing more. Perhaps you're taking lessons, you're playing in your band class, but you're also practicing at home. And so in that case, what I suggest is probably 1 reed a month would be able to get you through the amount of practicing that you need to do. Now, if you're also doing youth orchestra and you're playing in several community bands, we might bump that up to 2 reeds a month, but that should be something that should get you through that amount of playing for the time. When we get into university age, I teach at the University of Saskatchewan, and my students there, what I suggest is they have maybe, because they're playing so much more, they're practicing 2 to 3 hours a day. They're playing in many ensembles. They may have gigs of their own and performances and recitals that they're doing, but they're also doing a good deal of practice for our lessons. And in that case, I suggest that they should aim for about 3 great reeds a week. I ask them to make more. At that point, my oboe players are making their own reeds. I ask them actually to produce more than 3 reeds in the week, but I'm looking for 3 really good reeds that they could play in front of other people. The other reeds that they may have in their case would be good for uses of like practicing, basically just using for practicing for personal use, so that they can save some of their better reeds for when they play in front of other people. And for myself, I'm performing every week. I'm practicing a good deal. The instrument is on my face probably 20 hours a week, maybe 25 hours a week, with a combination of my rehearsals and my practicing. And so for my purposes, I have 5 or 6 reeds a week. Now I'm making them for myself. And I'm using those 5 or 6 reeds to play in rehearsals and for performances. In my practicing, I'm taking those performance reeds and I'm breaking them in while I'm practicing so that they're fully ready for what I'm going to perform. I hope you found that useful. Just a little numbers game about how many reeds you may need on your pathway and your journey on the oboe. If you've ever asked yourself the question, what if my reed doesn't last? What do I do if it doesn't sound great for the concert? If you have questions like that, and you're interested in finding out the answers, or maybe hearing from a professional oboist that has lived that life of learning how to manage how you're feeling about your reeds, about learning how to manage the number of reeds that you have in your case, and how you can always pull out a performance that you can be proud of. I have a masterclass coming up. It's completely free. It's a 5-day masterclass. It starts next Monday and runs through Saturday. It's every day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Regina time, which is different from anyone else's Central Standard Time. And there is a link in the description of this live presentation below if you would be interested in registering. I would love to connect with you and help you play the oboe with more joy and ease. Let's all become the oboe players that everyone wants to play with. Take best care. Play with joy and ease.